Hey everyone, it's Zach Beck. The President of the United States just put into effect a deferral program as it relates to payroll taxes, and the Treasury Department recently put out a proposal to employers outlining how they should actually implement this new policy. So what I want to do in this video is share specifically what this means, how it will impact yourself, how much more money you should expect to have in your paycheck, and what you or I should do right now to prepare for any future changes when this goes back into effect at a later time. So let's jump into it right now. As previously mentioned, this program is going to defer the payroll tax. Now, I think it's really important for us to understand that word defer as opposed to eliminate. Defer means you're just gonna have to pay it at a later time. But what it means right now is that now the original timeline would have been from September 1st to December 31st when payroll taxes would have been collected. Now they're deferring that and saying they're no longer going to collect payroll taxes during that time frame. Instead, those payroll taxes are going to be due between January 1st, 2021 and April 30th, 2021. So it's a significant change, but basically it's just delaying those implementation of those actual taxes that are going to be collected off of payroll. This plan only applies to individuals making less than $104,000 on an annual basis. And for those individuals, employers are then asked to stop withholding the 6.2% payroll tax that they normally would do so on a bi-weekly basis. An important thing to note is that employees would still be responsible for paying these taxes in the future. It just means that they're being deferred during this period of time. And the intention behind that is to try and provide some economic boost during this time. There also might be some political components of this as well, so we could have a perceived tax cut going into the presidential election cycle. So it's important to note that if you're receiving this tax benefit, if you make less than $104,000, don't think of this as money that you're just going to be able to keep and never have to worry about later on down the road. You will eventually have to pay back those taxes again later on, and that's going to come in the form of your employer taking out twice as much for your payroll tax later on down the road next year. So I just want to make sure that we understand this program firmly, because I don't want anyone thinking that they're just getting a bunch of extra money or 6.2% each paycheck that is now just free for them to be able to spend, because eventually that money is going to go right back to where it came from, which is going to go back to the government. On that note, the president actually wants to try and work with Congress to forgive the tax deferral, but I think that's going to be very challenging because these payroll taxes actually help to fund what's called Social Security, which is a retirement system that's used here in the United States of America. So if they were to remove that funding mechanism permanently or to defer those to forgive those deferred payments, I think you're going to have difficulty getting agreement, especially with a split Congress and a different president, so they don't have a united front when it comes to making decisions, as we're seeing on a daily basis. Employers also might be concerned because they might be stuck with the bill at the end of the day. One important thing to know about this is if you are an employer, you actually have the ability to opt out of this deferral program. So you might, whether you're an employee or an employer, if you're an employee, maybe try and encourage your employer to not go into this program, or if you're an employer, if it makes financial sense just to continue with things as is, that might be the safer tack to take, because right now things are so political that if you allow yourself to get your finances tied into that, it's going to make it difficult for you to make decisions long term and potentially could damage yourself financially and limit your business's ability to grow. Furthermore, the president has said that if re-elected, he wants to eliminate the payroll tax altogether, which is a really significant thing to say because, as I previously mentioned, this funds the Social Security Administration, and actually the chief actuary for the Social Security Administration, Steven Mnuchin, said that if the payroll tax was completely eliminated, Social Security would be insolvent come 2023. So the likelihood of this actually coming to fruition, where the payroll tax is eliminated altogether, is highly unlikely, but it could just be used as a ability for someone to try and get reelected as president. So once again, I think this highly puts into place why you or I should be very cautious about moving forward and making financial decisions based off of what certain political leaders are saying. Obviously, we want to respond accordingly to fiscal policy coming from the Federal Reserve, or if the Treasury Department is doing something different with bonds or anything to that extent. But when it comes to the actual elected officials, the political leaders who are trying to make promises that they cannot necessarily keep, we really want to be cautious and actually not respond to that until they've actually codified something into law. So all that being said, I just wanted you to know about this tax deferral program because you might be thinking that, hey, I'm going to be ending up getting all this extra money here soon, when in actuality that might not be the case because that money will eventually be due in the form of taxes. So that's all I wanted to share with you. Try and make wise decisions right now when it comes to your finances. And on that note, I want to say this every time I make a video when it relates to our finances. Try and follow simple practices and policies for your life. The ones that I personally like to use is doing everything I can to cut spending, save money, avoid lifestyle inflation, avoid debt, and then invest my money into things that I understand, specifically into index funds. So from that perspective, I believe if you maintain that kind of perspective when you're actually managing your money, it's going to position yourself long-term in the most effective way possible, irrespective of who's in the White House, irrespective of what any politician is going to tell you. Most importantly, you're taking the reins of your financial life and making wise decisions. That way, no matter what the interest rates are doing, no matter what the stock market is doing, you're going to find yourself financially whole long term, which then allows you to achieve your goals, which at the end of the day is really all that I care about. And the reason why I'm putting together these videos on this channel is I want to help you make wise decisions in the present that will help propel you in the future to achieve those goals. So that's all I want to share with you right now. With all that being said, I'd like to thank you for watching the video today. If you wouldn't mind, please like the video. That would mean a lot to myself personally. Also, it'd help push this video to other people who might need to hear a message like this, because a lot of people are going to be affected by this tax deferral program. So we should really understand the holistic nature of it before we make financial purchases or decisions based off of having a little extra income in our paycheck. In addition, if you have any questions about this, please comment down below. Love to interact with you, get to know you, answer any questions you have, and also do any research on your behalf to try and help you make wise decisions. In addition, if you wouldn't mind, please subscribe to the channel. That would mean a lot to myself personally, as I want to create content that will make a positive impact in your life by encouraging yourself and myself to lead lives of meaning and purpose, all while maintaining balance and moderation. And if you do subscribe to the channel, please tap the notification bell. That will notify you every time I post a video, which I do on a weekly basis. Once again, I'd like to thank you for watching the video today. I hope you have a wonderful remainder of your day. Talk to you next time.